Most Amazon sellers don't make it past 2 years reselling because they've ruined their account health. They get on listings that they can't sell and they don't follow Amazon's policies, and they either get their account shut down or they get multiple complaints against their Amazon account health. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can keep your Amazon account health safe and how you can scale this business long term without having to deal with any account deactivations or anything like that. These are issues that I went to over the past 2.5 years, and I've already went through most of these issues. So if you want to go ahead and avoid them and have your Amazon business be making profit consistently long term, make sure you stay till the end of this video and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, so the number one way to fast track and just get your Amazon account banned is buying stuff from Alibaba, right? We're reselling name, especially with online arbitrage and wholesale. Getting products from China, sure, you could get it at a super cheap enough price, but Amazon doesn't have any way to verify that these products are real, these products are compliant, right? Alibaba is a no-go, right? That's probably one of the most biggest questions that I get answered. You cannot source products from Alibaba. If you're doing private label, Amazon FBA private label, where you're making your own product, you're making your own brand, right? Then you could source some from Alibaba. For the business model that we're doing, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, this is not a supplier that we would be able to, buy from. So the next way to ruin your account health is looking at these type of listings over here. Obviously, we see French vanilla over here. We could go on this listing. This looks like the actual valid listing, but no, it's not, because we see ship and seller by Pogla. It's not sold by the brand, right? They're bypassing ungated. This is a third-party seller that is selling on this listing. So with this product over here, right, you wouldn't be able to sell this product because if you look at the Keepa chart over here, right, this isn't sold by the brand French Vanilla Coffee Creamer, right? This is sold by Poga Light Store. This is a third-party seller, and as you can see over here, there was no sellers on this listing. Poga Light, this seller over here, he made this listing. This brand could be taken out anytime. That is another misbranded listing over there, but another one I want to talk about is generic branding. Basically, what a generic branded listing is where you bypass the ungating process. Instead of having to ungate a product, that's why new sellers always make this mistake, because generic branding, you could sell a big name brand that Amazon doesn't let you sell yet as a new beginner, but if you make a generic listing of it, you just copy the whole listing and it's gonna say brand generic over here. You're always gonna want to avoid this listing over here. Amazon, you're taking a big risk as a new Amazon seller. Amazon could wake up one day and just take this whole listing down and give you guys account health issues whenever they want. So all these sellers that are on this listing, it's like 3, 4, 5 sellers, they're all taking a big risk. Just because people are doing it right now and they're getting away with it for just a couple of months doesn't mean that they've gotten away with it. Amazon will come back and something that you did wrong 6, 7 months ago, and they're going to ask you for documentation on that. That's where a lot of sellers really get messed up, when they can't prove authenticity and proof for their items. So the next thing I want to talk about is buying from authorized distributors and retailers. And I'm going to show you guys some ways that you could actually find a good retailer, and sometimes you could find a distributor that, Amazon wouldn't accept their documentation. They're not authorized by the brand. So we go to Google over here and we would see, okay, Ulta's selling this, right? Vitacost is selling this. So these are good suppliers over here. These are suppliers that Amazon recognizes. But if you keep going, over here, like if we bought this from DoorDash, would we be able to get documentation from DoorDash? Even though we're getting it at a super cheap price, we wouldn't be able to, right? So you can't just buy from anywhere, right? And we would go to Walmart over here, and as we can see, we're selling it sold and shipped by Walmart. So let me give you guys an example. Okay, let's just say we're getting a 2-pack, right? We're getting a 2-pack from eBay. This is what most, Amazon sellers struggle with. They go over here, right? They'll go to No 7 Radiance plus 15 serum. They go to eBay over here. And what's going to happen is they'll be like, oh my God, I'm getting this such a cheap price from eBay. But if Amazon asks you for documentation on this product, you'll never be able to prove authenticity from eBay because eBay doesn't supply any invoices. We don't know where this eBay seller is getting his products from. And even if they did, Amazon could just say, we don't trust a supplier that's not strong enough to prove that these products are real. We're not going to reactivate your account, right? So this is something that we should take really seriously, and just making sure that we're buying from authorized suppliers. Now let me show you guys another example. Now this is another product I want to talk about. There's a lot of fake stuff in the beauty category, so I really want you guys to be careful, right? Because I don't want you guys investing thousands of dollars into these business models and you get your account shut down, or you don't buy from an authorized supplier. So we're gonna go over here and we can see, okay, all these products are being sold, right? All these products are here. Okay, we could go on Walmart, right? We go on Walmart over here. It got taken down for a good reason, because it's probably fake. But you see Stalvena, you see Shein. Like Shein is the same as Alibaba, right? We're not getting authorized. Like they don't have to prove that their product. This is Shein. Look at this Chinese one. You could just look at this. right? This product is not real. Look at this, $240. This buy cost is just very suspicious, right? You know, I'm not saying this product doesn't work, but they could put whatever they want into their cream. Let me show you guys why Amazon is so serious about this. Because they could put whatever they want in this cream, you sell it, you're representing Amazon, and then let's just say they put something that the customer's allergic to. Well, when you read the ingredients, it wasn't on there, and then Amazon gets sued, you get sued just for a mistake, just because you bought from an unauthorized reseller. So you guys might be thinking, hey, Faraj, I think this is a little too much, but you want to have longevity with Amazon. This is the stuff that you're going to have to kind of pay attention to. The next thing that could ruin your Amazon business is by buying from Walmart third-party sellers, because most Walmart third-party sellers sell fake stuff, especially if the item is just super cheap, right? You kind of have to think, if it's too good to be true, it's probably, you know, not true, right? These sellers, you're telling me I can buy straight from Walmart. It happens, right? We source multiple times from Walmart to Amazon, but how are we getting this from a Walmart third-party seller? How is he getting this at such a cheap price, right? He's not a distributor, he's not a supplier. We don't know. It's probably fake goods, right? Just from selling on Amazon and Walmart for the past, you know, 2.5 years, it's probably fake goods. And let me try to show you guys an example. This is a perfect example of this product over here. We have this product over here, okay? It's profitable and everything, but if we go on Walmart over here, this is a verified supplier. This is iHerb. This is a big brand. This is everything. But Amazon still wouldn't accept their invoices because it's a third-party Walmart seller, right? iHerb, the order confirmation, Amazon is not going to accept the order confirmation from iHerb. It doesn't matter if it's a big seller. It doesn't matter if it's a small seller. It doesn't matter if it's a middle-sized seller. You're not supposed to buy from third-party sellers because they don't have documentation. Some of them might do, but Amazon, right, you don't want to take that risk because Amazon could say, oh, that's a big seller, but I don't want to accept it because you know you weren't supposed to buy from there, right? So sometimes, most of the times, right, this price is fair because it's sold by a big distributor and supplier. They're already making a profit on this, and this is probably a real product. But most of the times, these products are fake, and they get sold onto Amazon, and then the customer starts complaining, and then all those issues start to happen because that's why Amazon's cracking down on ungating, right? Ungating is for the safety of the customer. We don't want sellers that don't know what I'm teaching you guys right now, that don't know how to vet their suppliers. They don't want these type of sellers on their platform selling all their premier brands, making thousands of dollars, selling thousands of dollars of units to their customers. Because at the end of the day, if someone gets sick, if someone's face, you know, starts breaking out because they were allergic to, because there was an ingredient that wasn't supposed to be in there because you bought from a fake supplier, right? Amazon's going to take fault for that. Amazon stock is going to go down. That is why vetting a supplier, if you want to be partnered up with Amazon for a while, this is a skill set that you're going to have to dial in on, and there's going to be tons of opportunities that you're going to miss. But at the end of the day, those sellers that are taking these risks are not going to be here for a while. All right, guys, this is an example of another product over here. It's brand generic, right? Nutrition Plan, you know, protein shakes, 30 grams of protein, milk chocolate. There's multiple sellers on this listing. Okay, there's 2, 3. But it's generic brand, right? You wouldn't be able to sell this as a beginner. And if you were to be able to sell this, Fairlife doesn't want their products to be resold on Amazon. They're not a reseller friendly. So instead of him applying to get ungated for Fairlife, he just made his own generic branded listing. And this could get taken down by any moment. You could be stuck with thousands of units in, you know, product, and he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. It's another one that we have to avoid. And then let me show you guys an example of an IP complaint. The next thing I want to talk about is IP complaints over here. If you're ever looking at the Keepa chart, if you're ever sourcing and you see that there's a big drop off for, you know, it's not natural, sales aren't going up or anything, there's about like 40 to 50 sellers on each listing, and automatically goes down to 1, 2, 3, or even if it's like, you know, there's suspicious, right? It's like it's 20, 30 sellers are on the listing and it just slowly goes down for no reason, even when it's a profitable listing and the sales didn't go up. That is probably an IP complaint. That's probably the brand kicking people off the listing. So this is a product, like if you ever see something like this, just avoid the listing. And yeah, that is what an IP complaint looks like. But all right, guys, if you avoid all 4 of those things, you're gonna make sure that you have that long, amazing, profitable Amazon business that's gonna last, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years. If you follow everything that I told you in this video and you avoid all the mistakes, obviously I told you guys, you know, what listings not to get on, but there's tons of thousands, hundreds of thousands of profitable listings that you could get on and resell for the profit on Amazon. So one of the biggest things that I would tell you guys is, obviously there's going to be listings, there's going to be opportunities where you can make a quick buck, but it's only going to benefit you in the short term, right? Amazon might come back a year later, maybe a year and a half later, and ask you for documentation on that, and you might not have the documentation and they might shut you down for that. So this is just to help you guys be careful and make sure you guys have long, profitable Amazon FBA careers. But if you guys do want to work with me one-on-one to see how we could start or scale your Amazon business to $10,000 per month, I'm gonna leave a one-on-one link in the description to book a one-on-one call with me. Q4 is almost here, the most profitable time of the year. So let's make sure we get you guys onboarded and started. So click the link in the description to book a one-on-one call, and I'll see you guys in the next one.